Welcome to the fourth episode of our chilling series exploring the haunted corners of the United States, where history and horror intertwine in ways that defy explanation. In this installment of Most Haunted Places in the USA, we delve deep into the shadows cast by ghostly legends, uncovering tales so spine-tingling they'll leave you questioning the boundaries between the living and the dead. From abandoned asylums to centuries-old battlefields, America is a treasure trove of spectral stories rooted in tragedy, betrayal, and unrelenting sorrow. America's haunted places are more than just locations. They're vessels carrying the echoes of lives lived and lost. These sites bear witness to events that continue to reverberate through time: Civil War skirmishes, frontier feuds, unsolved murders, and the lingering presence of those who refuse to move on. Each place holds its own dark secrets, whispered through creaking floorboards, flickering lights, and disembodied voices that drift through empty halls. Whether you're drawn by morbid curiosity or an insatiable thirst for the supernatural, these destinations promise encounters that blur the line between reality and nightmare. In this episode, we'll journey to some of the most infamous haunted locales across the United States, places steeped in lore and fear, where the past refuses to stay buried. We'll peer into the shadowy depths of haunted hotels, explore eerie mansions cloaked in mystery, and tread cautiously through abandoned institutions teeming with restless spirits. Along the way, we'll hear first-hand accounts from witnesses brave enough to confront the unknown, examine chilling evidence captured by paranormal investigators, and unravel the tragic histories that give rise to these hauntings. So dim the lights, keep your ears sharp, and prepare yourself for a descent into the macabre. As we step into the haunted heart of America, remember, sometimes, the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil, and once you cross it, there's no turning back. The Stanley Hotel, a ghostly grandeur in Estes Park. Nestled at the base of the Rocky Mountains in Estes Park, Colorado, the Stanley Hotel stands as a monument to both luxury and despair. A grand Georgian Revival masterpiece whose opulent facade conceals decades of tragedy and supernatural activity. Built in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, the hotel quickly became a retreat for affluent travelers seeking respite amidst the breathtaking scenery. With its sweeping verandas, crystal chandeliers, and panoramic views of the surrounding peaks, the Stanley epitomized elegance and sophistication. Yet beneath its polished exterior lay a darker narrative, one marked by scandal, betrayal, and untimely deaths. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Stanley Hotel revolves around Room 217, said to be haunted by the spirit of Elizabeth Wilson, a housekeeper who worked at the hotel during its early years. According to local lore, Elizabeth was injured in a gas explosion while cleaning the room, an accident that left her scarred but alive. Despite surviving the incident, her spirit is believed to have remained tethered to the space. Guests staying in Room 217 frequently report strange occurrences: lights turning on and off by themselves, radios tuning to static-filled stations, and the overwhelming scent of lavender lingering in the air. Some claim to wake up in the middle of the night to find their bedsheets neatly tucked around them, despite being certain they had left the bed unmade. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is believed to be none other than Stephen King himself, or rather, the inspiration his visit provided for his iconic novel The Shining. In 1974, King stayed at the Stanley during a snowstorm, an experience that profoundly influenced the eerie Overlook Hotel featured in his book. Paranormal investigators exploring the property have captured EVP recordings suggesting the presence of a male entity whispering phrases like, "Red rum," and "They're coming." Witnesses described seeing a shadowy figure resembling Jack Torrance pacing anxiously near windows, clutching what appears to be an axe before vanishing without a trace. The hotel's basement, once used for storage and laundry operations, has become a focal point of paranormal activity. Employees tasked with cleaning the area often describe hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Some claim to see shadowy figures dragging invisible loads, their movements jerky and unnatural. A particularly chilling account comes from a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. Overnight visitors to the Stanley Hotel frequently recount bizarre experiences that defy logical explanation. Lights flicker unpredictably, especially in hallways leading to the older sections of the building. Doors slammed shut on their own, and the scent of cigar smoke wafts through the air despite the hotel's strict no-smoking policy. One guest described waking up to find his reflection in the mirror staring back at him, but not quite matching his movements, as if another entity stood behind him, mimicking his actions. Another recounted seeing a man in a dusty miner's outfit standing at the foot of her bed, his hollow eyes boring into hers before vanishing without a sound. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Stanley Hotel remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill-seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a stay, the possibility of encountering Elizabeth Wilson, the fictional Jack Torrance, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the darkness that lingers within these walls, or will they become another chapter in the hotel's tragic tale, the Myrtles Plantation, elegance entangled with the supernatural in the heart of St. Francisville, Louisiana, where Spanish moss drapes ancient oaks and the humid air carries whispers of the past, stands the Myrtles Plantation. A beacon of antebellum elegance with a haunting legacy that dates back over 2 centuries. Established in 1796, the plantation quickly became a hub for wealthy plantation owners, politicians, and socialites seeking refuge amidst the lush southern landscape. Its stately columns, mahogany furnishings, and sprawling gardens evoke a sense of timeless grace, yet beneath its polished veneer lies a darker history steeped in murder, betrayal, and spectral encounters. One of the most iconic hauntings associated with the Myrtles Plantation is that of Chloe, a slave who served as a nanny to the Woodruff family in the early 1800s. Described as intelligent and resourceful, Chloe's life took a tragic turn when she was caught eavesdropping on a private conversation between Sarah Woodruff and her husband. As punishment, Sarah allegedly cut off Chloe's ear, leaving her disfigured and humiliated. Consumed by bitterness, Chloe sought revenge by poisoning a cake intended for the family. Though her plan succeeded in killing Sarah and 2 of the children, Chloe herself was lynched by enraged slaves who blamed her for bringing shame upon them. Guests and staff alike report seeing a woman in a green turban gliding silently through the corridors, her translucent form illuminated by dim light. Some claim to feel an icy draft pass through them as she drifts by, while others report hearing soft humming emanating from empty rooms, believed to be Chloe tidying up after guests long gone. Another prominent figure in the plantation's haunted lore is believed to be William Drew Winter, a lawyer who purchased the property in the mid-19th century. Though not a permanent resident, his violent death left an indelible mark on the estate. According to legend, Winter was shot on the front porch by an unknown assailant and staggered inside, calling out the names of his wife and children before collapsing in the foyer. Visitors recount sightings of a tall, imposing man clad in period attire, pacing anxiously near the staircase or sitting alone in the parlor. His presence is often accompanied by the faint clinking of spurs and the smell of leather, as though he's preparing for one last legal battle. Some speculate that Winter lingers due to unfinished business, unable to part ways with the home that played such a pivotal role in his life. The plantation's basement, once used for storage and slave quarters, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with maintaining the area describe hearing muffled voices and the sound of footsteps echoing through the narrow passageways, though no one else is present. Objects are known to move inexplicably. Tools vanish only to reappear hours later in entirely different locations. One particularly unnerving incident involved a janitor who swore he saw a young boy playing with marbles in the corner of the room, only for the child to disappear when approached. Theories abound that the boy may have been a victim of illness or accident during the plantation's early years, forever trapped in the confines of its lower levels. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, the Myrtles Plantation continues to draw visitors eager to immerse themselves in its storied past. For those brave enough to book a stay, the opportunity to encounter Chloe, William Winter, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its architectural splendor or the thrill of peeling back the layers of its enigmatic history. The Eastern State Penitentiary, shadows of incarceration and sorrow deep in the heart of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, shrouded by crumbling stone walls and rusted iron bars, lies the Eastern State Penitentiary, a sprawling fortress of punishment whose ruins stand as a testament to the harsh realities of incarceration and reform. Active from 1829 to 1971, the prison pioneered the concept of solitary confinement, isolating inmates in tiny cells designed to inspire penitence and redemption. Today, the weathered corridors and decaying cell blocks bear silent witness to the violence, disease, and despair that plague those incarcerated within its borders, and to the spirits that remain bound to its haunted grounds. One of the most pervasive legends tied to Eastern State centers around Cell Block 12, where countless prisoners endured unimaginable suffering under the system of solitary confinement. Historical records indicate that conditions were dire, with inadequate food, poor sanitation, and limited human contact exacerbating the mental and physical toll on inmates. Decades later, visitors exploring the ruins report hearing faint moans and cries emanating from the remnants of the cell block. Some claim to see shadowy figures huddled in the corners, their faces obscured by darkness, while others describe feeling an oppressive weight pressing down on them as they approach the site. Another haunting figure associated with Eastern State is believed to be Al Capone, the infamous gangster who briefly served time there in the 1920s. According to local lore, Capone claimed to be tormented by the ghost of James Clark, a victim of the St. Valentine's Day massacre, during his stay. His ghost is said to wander the corridors, his ethereal form clad in a tattered suit. Guests visiting the penitentiary have reported seeing a pale figure pacing restlessly near the warden's office, his expression frozen in eternal anguish. Others describe hearing the faint clinking of handcuffs and the rustle of fabric, as though someone is being led away for interrogation. The prison's death row, located in the deepest recesses of the facility, has also gained a reputation for paranormal activity. Visitors walking among the rusted bars and broken furniture often feel an inexplicable sense of dread, as though unseen eyes are watching their every move. Shadows flit across peripheral vision, disappearing when directly observed. Some claim to hear disembodied voices calling out names unfamiliar to modern ears, believed to be the voices of prisoners executed without proper recognition. Others report seeing apparitions of men in striped uniforms, their faces gaunt and weary, standing silently amidst the ruins. Paranormal investigators exploring Eastern State have documented numerous instances of unexplained phenomena. EMF detectors routinely spike in certain areas, particularly near the solitary confinement cells and the infirmary. EVP recordings capture faint whispers pleading for help, interspersed with anguished cries. One investigator captured a chilling photograph of a translucent figure standing in the doorway of a cell, its hands raised as if begging for mercy. These findings have solidified the prison's reputation as one of America's most active haunted sites. Despite, or perhaps because of, its grim history, Eastern State continues to attract curious souls eager to confront its spectral inhabitants. For many, visiting the site serves as both a pilgrimage and a reckoning, an opportunity to honor the lives lost and acknowledge the systemic injustices perpetuated in the name of rehabilitation. Whether you're drawn by the allure of its haunting beauty or the weight of its tragic legacy, Eastern State offers an unforgettable experience where the past refuses to fade quietly into oblivion. The Winchester Mystery House whispers beneath the architectural maze perched in the heart of San Jose, California. The Winchester Mystery House stands as a labyrinthine testament to obsession, guilt, and the supernatural. A sprawling Victorian mansion built by Sarah Winchester, heir to the Winchester rifle fortune. Constructed continuously from 1884 until Sarah's death in 1922, the house features over 160 rooms, staircases leading nowhere, doors opening to sheer drops, and countless other architectural oddities. Its chaotic design reflects Sarah's belief that the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles haunted her, compelling her to build endlessly to appease them. Today, the mansion remains a magnet for paranormal activity, drawing visitors eager to confront its spectral inhabitants. One of the most infamous incidents tied to the Winchester Mystery House involves the Seance Room, a small chamber where Sarah allegedly communicated with the spirits nightly. Historical accounts suggest that Sarah conducted seances to receive instructions from the ghosts, dictating the house's ever-expanding blueprint. Visitors exploring the room report hearing faint whispers and the sound of furniture moving, though no one else is present. Some claim to see shadowy figures hovering near the fireplace, their forms dissolving into mist when approached. Others describe feeling an icy draft pass through them as they enter the room, accompanied by the sensation of being watched. Another prominent figure in the mansion's haunted lore is believed to be Sarah herself. According to legend, her spirit continues to roam the house, ensuring that construction never truly ceases. Guests recount sightings of a frail woman in period clothing wandering the halls, her hollow eyes fixed on some unseen point in the distance. Some claim to hear soft sobbing emanating from vacant rooms, while others report seeing her reflection in mirrors, her expression frozen in eternal anguish. One particularly unsettling account involves a visitor who swore he saw Sarah standing at the top of a staircase, beckoning him to follow her before vanishing without explanation. Adding to the mansion's haunted allure are the countless secret passages and hidden alcoves embedded within its structure. Many believe residual energy from Sarah's obsessive building remains trapped within the maze-like framework, manifesting as phantom sounds of hammering, sawing, and footsteps. At night, when the mansion is bathed in moonlight, some visitors swear they can hear the distant strains of construction and the low murmur of workers, as though a renovation from another era continues to unfold. Paranormal investigators exploring the Winchester Mystery House have captured compelling evidence of its supernatural activity. Thermal cameras reveal cold spots concentrated near the seance room and the grand ballroom, where many of the tragedies unfolded. Audio recordings pick up fragmented phrases like "build" and "never stop," delivered in tones of sheer desperation. One particularly unsettling discovery came when a team member set up motion-activated cameras overnight, capturing footage of a translucent figure standing motionless at the midpoint of a staircase before vanishing without explanation. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Winchester Mystery House remains a popular destination for tourists and locals alike. Its intricate design and rich history make it a favorite spot for photography and exploration. For those brave enough to venture inside after dark, the promise of encountering Sarah or one of the countless other spirits said to linger adds an element of fascination and trepidation. Yet, as each new visitor steps onto the creaking floors, they must ask themselves, are they prepared to face the echoes of the past, or will they become another chapter in the mansion's macabre legacy? As we traverse the haunted landscapes of the United States, from the opulent halls of the Stanley Hotel to the somber grounds of Eastern State Penitentiary, striking similarities emerge that transcend individual locations and histories. These patterns are not merely coincidental but reflect universal themes of human emotion, unresolved trauma, and the enduring power of memory. From the wailing wards of hospitals to the shadowed basements of monuments, these sites share a commonality that binds them together in a spectral sisterhood of sorrow and suspense. One recurring motif is the concept of unfinished business. Whether it's the victims of unethical experiments, or the betrayed trust of patients subjected to inhumane treatments, these spirits seem tethered to the earthly realm by grievances left unaddressed. Their presence manifests as restless energy, often communicated through auditory phenomena, cries, whispers, or disembodied voices, that serve as pleas for acknowledgement or closure. This theme resonates across cultures and belief systems, reflecting humanity's innate need to resolve conflict and seek peace, even in death. Another shared characteristic is the role of architecture in amplifying paranormal activity. Historic buildings, with their labyrinthine corridors, thick walls, and hidden alcoves, create environments conducive to isolating individuals and heightening fear. These structural elements act as metaphors for the psychological barriers erected by those who suffered within their confines, trapping emotions such as anger, despair, and regret. It's no coincidence that many reported hauntings occur in spaces imbued with emotional significance: operating rooms where surgeries went awry, basements where bodies were stored, or wards where patients met tragic ends. Lighting and sensory manipulation also feature prominently in these narratives. Flickering lights, sudden temperature drops, and inexplicable odors are staples of ghostly encounters, designed to disorient and unsettle. Such phenomena strip away the comfort of familiarity, forcing guests to confront the unknown. The use of mirrors, a recurring element in stories from various haunted hospitals, adds another layer of psychological tension, as reflections distort perception and blur the boundary between self and other. This interplay of light and shadow becomes a tool wielded by unseen forces, creating moments of visceral terror that linger long after the initial shock subsides. Finally, the prevalence of historical context cannot be overstated. Each location's haunting is deeply rooted in its unique past, shaped by the socio-cultural milieu of its time. The brutal medical practices embedded in the DNA of older establishments contrast sharply with the glamorous yet tragic lives immortalized in urban legends. Yet both narratives tap into broader archetypes of ambition, betrayal, and mortality, ensuring their resonance with audiences regardless of personal experience. By drawing on these universal motifs, these haunted places transform from mere buildings into living repositories of collective memory, inviting us to peer into the abyss of our shared humanity. Thus, while each establishment boasts its own distinct flavor of fright, the underlying threads connecting them reveal a tapestry rich with meaning. These patterns remind us that the supernatural is not so much about the entities themselves but the stories they tell, the echoes of lives interrupted, passions extinguished, and truths obscured. As we continue to explore these haunted locales, we find ourselves grappling not only with the specters of the past but with the timeless questions they raise about life, death, and everything in between. The psychology of fear. Why haunted places captivate us? What is it about haunted places that grips our imaginations so profoundly? Beyond the creaking floorboards and flickering lights lies a deeper allure, one rooted in the psychology of fear and the human fascination with the unknown. These sites, by their very nature, are places of vulnerability. They are where we confront our mortality, stripped of autonomy and control, relying entirely on the expertise of others to heal us, or where justice was denied, leaving wounds that refuse to heal. When these spaces become haunted, they amplify our primal fears, transforming familiar settings into arenas of existential dread. The combination of historical context, architectural design, and the lingering presence of past suffering creates a perfect storm of terror that resonates deeply within us. The core of this captivation is the concept of liminality, the state of being on the threshold between two worlds. Haunted places exist in this liminal space, bridging life and death, health and illness, hope and despair. This inherent duality makes them fertile ground for supernatural narratives. Ghosts, as manifestations of unresolved trauma or unfinished business, embody the tension of being caught between states. They serve as reminders that the boundaries we construct, between life and afterlife, sanity and madness, are far more permeable than we'd like to believe. For many, visiting a haunted site feels like stepping into a twilight zone where the rules of reality no longer apply, igniting both curiosity and unease. Architecturally, haunted places contribute to this atmosphere of dread through their design. Long, sterile hallways lined with identical doors create a sense of disorientation, while poor lighting and echoing acoustics heighten sensory awareness. These features mimic the psychological effects of anxiety and claustrophobia, making even mundane sounds, a distant cough, the hum of fluorescent lights, feel ominous. The labyrinthine layouts of older structures, with their hidden wings and underground tunnels, evoke feelings of entrapment and uncertainty. Every corner becomes a potential threat, every shadow a possible harbinger of danger. This environmental manipulation taps into our instinctual fight-or-flight response, keeping us perpetually on edge. Cultural influences also play a significant role in shaping our fascination with haunted places. Media representations, from films like The Shining to television series such as American Horror Story, have cemented the trope of the haunted asylum, courthouse, or battlefield as a locus of horror. These portrayals often blend historical truths with fictional embellishments, creating a mythology that blurs fact and fiction. Audiences are drawn to these stories because they reflect societal anxieties about institutional power, systemic injustice, and the fragility of the human mind. Haunted places become microcosms of larger fears, the loss of agency, the misuse of authority, and the haunting specter of mistakes made in the name of progress. Moreover, haunted places appeal to our desire for catharsis. Engaging with these tales allows us to process our own fears about mortality, injustice, and the flaws inherent in systems meant to protect us. By confronting ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena, we externalize internal anxieties, transforming abstract fears into tangible adversaries. This vicarious experience provides a safe outlet for exploring the darker aspects of human existence, offering both thrill and relief. It's no wonder that ghost tours and paranormal investigations of haunted places attract participants eager to test their courage against the unknown. Ultimately, the enduring allure of haunted places lies in their ability to mirror our deepest fears while challenging our understanding of reality. They remind us that the past is never truly buried, that pain and injustice leave indelible marks on both people and places. As we walk their haunted halls, we are forced to confront not only the spirits said to inhabit them but also the ghosts within ourselves, the regrets, doubts, and unanswered questions that linger long after the wounds have healed. In doing so, we find a strange comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our fears, that others have walked these same paths and emerged, shaken but alive, to tell their stories. As we bring this chilling journey through America's most haunted places to a close, one thing becomes abundantly clear: the spirits of the past refuse to be silenced. Each creaking floorboard, each whispered name, and each fleeting shadow serves as a testament to lives lived, lost, and lingering in the spaces we dare to call haunted. These stories are more than mere campfire tales. They are fragments of history, stitched together by human emotion, tragedy, and the relentless passage of time. They remind us that the line between the living and the dead is far thinner than we might believe, and that sometimes the most terrifying truths lie just beyond the veil. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of America's haunted places yourself. Walk the same halls where spirits are said to roam, stand in the rooms where history's echoes reverberate, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking proof or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these forsaken institutions offer an unparalleled opportunity to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond comprehension. There's nothing quite like experiencing the weight of decades-old despair firsthand, feeling the chill of a presence that defies explanation, or hearing the faint strains of voices from another time. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint tap of footsteps in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all. But isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted places, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Share your findings with fellow enthusiasts, document your journey, and keep the conversation alive. After all, every whisper contributes to the symphony of the supernatural. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting.